Hi guys, it's Jen with creativelyhomemade.com. Today I have another fun holiday tutorial for you. Today I'm going to show you how to make these cute little holiday treat boxes. This was made with the clear tiny treat boxes from Stampin' Up! And I used the Be Merry Designer Series paper and some ribbon and a wreath embellishment to decorate it. And it's super easy to make. It would make a great gift for coworkers, or you could make them for your kids to send in for their class holiday parties, or they would just be a great little treat for anybody that you want to bless this holiday season. But before I get to these, I have some fun news for you. Each month, I like to send a little thank you gift to any customer who places an order through my online store. So this month, I am super excited to have some stamp sets to send out as thank you gifts. So if you place a $50 or more order through my online store using the host code that's down in the description box below, and you are one of the first 3 people to order, then you will receive this Merry Patterns host stamp set absolutely free. This is a super cute set to use for making Christmas and holiday cards and all sorts of little treats. Super, super cute. I just love that reindeer wearing the sweater. Isn't that adorable? So if you are one of the first 3 people to place a $50 order, you will receive this stamp set from me absolutely free. Now, if you are not one of the first 3 people, that's all right. I still have a gift for you as well. You are going to get a sampler of the Be Merry product suite. This is such a fun little assortment to use in your holiday crafting. It's going to come in a little cellophane bag just like this one. You are first going to get an assortment of 12 sheets, 12 6x6 sheets of the Be Merry Designer Series paper. This is double-sided paper, and it is full of lots of fun holiday designs to use in your crafting. It would be great for making Christmas cards, or you could use these sheets for die cuts or layers or little treats or whatever you want to use it for. Then your sampler pack is also going to come with 4 of these tiny clear boxes, the same ones that I am going to be using in the tutorial today to make these little treat boxes. So you get 4 of those. You're going to get 3 of these cute little boxwood wreath embellishments. You're going to get a yard of the cherry cobbler double-stitched ribbon. And then you're also going to get 20 of the metallic gems. You're going to get 10 each in gold and silver. And again, those gifts will be sent to you if you place a $50 or more order from my online Stampin' Up! Store using the host code. So if you want one of those stamp sets, be sure to get your order in early, because once those 3 are gone, I will be sending out the samplers instead. So let's get started, and I will show you how to make these cute little treat boxes. So let's get started assembling our treat boxes. These are clear tiny treat boxes that are in this current Stampin' Up! Catalog. They come in packs of 16, so you'll have plenty to make holiday treats with. When you first take one out of the package, you'll notice there is a little film on it. This is to protect the boxes from getting scratched while they're in transit, so you just need to remove that plastic coating before you assemble your box. And they're super easy to put together. You're just basically folding the flaps in, but what I recommend is folding on those crease lines to make it easier for the box to go together. You just have to give it a little pinch, kind of give it some encouragement to stay in shape. So just pinch down all the flaps. And then this bottom flap here, I don't know how well this is showing on the camera, it might with the glare. It's got a little tab, and you put that in the slot. Give it a little pinch and then slide it in the slot to hold it together. And then you can fill that with whatever treats you want. I just got some Hershey Kisses here. You can fit about 12 of these Hershey Kisses into the box. That's about the perfect amount. And then just close the top flaps. Again, giving everything a pinch so that it stays in place. And close your box up. And see, that's 12 is a good amount. It looks pretty full. You can fill these with whatever treat you want, holiday M&Ms or whatever little candies. I just happen to have Hershey Kisses on hand for a thing that I made for my kids, so that's what I'm using. Now we're going to decorate these little boxes. So I'm going to pull out my scoreboard and I'll show you how to make the little cap that goes over the top of these. Okay, I have my scoreboard out. I have cut a piece of the Be Merry Designer Series paper to 4 1/8 inches by 4 1/8 inches. I am going to use for the cap on my little treat box one of the designs that is red and green. The back sides of these papers are a more solid dark color. I want to use the one that has a white background because that will help the embellishment show up better against it. So first we're going to score this to form our little cap. So turn it over to the wrong side and put that up against the top of your scoreboard, and you're going to score at 1 inch and 3 1/8 inch. And then turn it around, turn it 90 degrees and score again at 1 inch and 3 1/8 inch. Now I wanted to make a quick note about when you're scoring Designer Series paper, you do not need to press in as hard as if you were scoring cardstock, because this, if you press in too hard, you can actually push through the paper and create a tear line. So just kind of use a light touch when you're doing that. So that's all we need the scoreboard for, so you can set that aside. And now we're going to cut flaps. Now, I know it's probably hard to see on the camera, but the score lines create a square in each of the corners. And we're going to use those to make the flaps. So just grab some scissors, and you want to cut along one of the score lines in each of the corners. So you're going to cut from the bottom up to this score line that's going across here. And then repeat that process for each of the corner flaps. Just like that. Oh, I forgot to mention, before you cut those flaps, you'll want to go ahead and fold those score lines in. It'll just make it easier to assemble. You can do it after you've got the flaps. It's just easier if you do it before. Okay, so now we can see how the box lid is going to be taking shape. So you want to turn it over to the side that you want showing. So in my case, I want this design to show for my lid, and then you're going to put adhesive in each of the corners. I am going to use Fast Fuse because it's a stronger adhesive and it will help hold that together. So just add adhesive on each of the corners on those flaps. Okay, so now we're ready to put it together. So you want to fold the side down and then fold the flap in behind it, lining up the score line with the corner edge like that. And then you're just going to repeat the process for each of the corners. Just fold that flap behind and press it to hold it. And there you have your little cap for your treat box. So you can, it's a little bit bigger. These treat boxes are 2 inches by 2 inches. So since this is 2 1/8 inch, it fits right on it with no fussing. The first time I tried it, I made a 2-inch square, and it was so tight to try to get it on there. It's better to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so now we are ready to add our ribbon. I am going to grab some glue dots. You want to put one mini glue dot on the end of your ribbon. You can use the cross stitch side or the double stitch side, whichever you prefer. I am just going to use the cross stitch side because I like that side. I think it's cute. So put a mini glue dot on the end of your ribbon and then add it to about the center of your box, just like so. And then run it around the box and then meet up with that cut ends. You're going to want it to overlap maybe ½ inch, ¼ inch, something like that. You just want a little bit of an overlap, and then add a glue dot to the other ends. Now this seam is going to be hidden behind your wreath, so you won't see it. And just kind of pull it snug and press it. Okay, so now we are ready to add our wreaths. These wreaths come in a pack of 12. They come in a little container just like this. You just need one per box. And the best thing I found to glue these in place is hot glue. I tried glue dots. They work okay, but it's really easy to pull the wreath up. I tried Tombow, but you have to wait a bit for that to dry. So it's just easier to use hot glue. It dries quickly, and then you don't have to worry about it not sticking or falling off while you're taking your gift to whoever's getting it. So just place that up near the top. Okay, and then we are going to tie a little bow with that cherry cobbler ribbon, and we're going to put that bow up at the top of the wreath. Oops. Okay. You don't want very long tails, you just want a tiny little bow. And if you can, try to get those flaps, the tails of the ribbon, so that the design is the same on both sides of the tails. You may have to twist that a little bit to get it to look right. And then just cut a small little, cut the excess ribbon off. And then hot glue that bow up at the top of your box, right above the wreath. Actually, sorry about that, I told you wrong. Hot glue that right on the top of the wreath, so it looks like the bow is on the wreath itself. And then pull out some of your metallic gems, and we're going to add those as little embellishments on the wreath itself. I am using the smallest little dots, and I'm going to add about 3 of those. If you have a paper piercing tool, that makes it really easy to transfer these to your wreath. Makes it easy to pick them up. Oops, that one's trying to fly away. Okay. Actually, I'm probably, I think, going to use 4 on this one. 3 or 4 looks good. Just gives a little bit of bling to your wreath. So you can set that aside. Now the last thing you want to do, you need to grab a scrap of real red cardstock and some Whisper White ink. I am using a Merry Christmas sentiment that is from the Snow Flurry, or Flurries of Wishes stamp set, I believe is the name of it. So just ink that up with Whisper White craft ink. I love Whisper White craft ink because it lets you stamp on dark colors. And stamp that down at the bottom of your paper, because we're going to punch it out with the word label punch. I think that's called the word label punch. I will have to double check that. But then line that up just like so, It's a snug fit for the stamp set, but it does fit. And then punch it out. Now before I forget, I wanted to mention about this Whisper White craft ink. I have a Stampin' Scrub that I use to clean my stamps, but this Whisper White ink tends to smear all over that. So the best way I found to clean this ink off is to take your stamp cleaner and spray it directly on the stamp, and then just put the whole thing under running water and kind of rub your finger to get it off. I don't like to use my Stampin' Scrub with this white ink anymore because when you clean subsequent stamps, it leaves like a white film on it, and it's just easier if you just run it under water and clean it that way. So that's my tip for the day. And then the last thing you're going to do to assemble your little treat boxes is put this little label on it down at the bottom. And I'm using some Stampin' Dimensionals for that. You don't need a whole Stampin' Dimensional. You can use these little scraps that are around the edge. Those work really well for this smaller piece. So just put one on either end. Peel off the backing. Okay. And press that into place down on the bottom of your little treat. And that's all there is to it. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial for these Be Merry Christmas treat boxes. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it. And if you need any of the supplies to make this little treat box, I have the links down in the description box below that go straight to my Stampin' Up! Stores where you can purchase these items. And remember, if you place a $50 or more order during the month of November and use my host code, I will send you the Merry Patterns stamp set or the Be Merry sampler. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you will subscribe to my channel. I have a whole bunch of holiday tutorials for you during the month of November, so you'll want to check those out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy crafting!